This session, I would like to once again welcome you to the BlueZone and Viking 7 series refrigeration training. I'd like to introduce you to Karen Benedict, who is the CEO of BlueZone Products. Welcome, Karen. And then also Sue Bailey, who is the Director of Go-to-Market Strategy at Viking Range. And then, of course, Chef Jamie Larita, who is the Executive Chef and Brand Ambassador from Middleby Residential Chicago Showroom.
Very much, Margaret. That was a beautiful introduction. Thank you guys for coming into our beautiful Chicago showroom. We're very excited about all of our showrooms, New York, and now soon to be the grand opening of our beautiful California showroom. Today, we're going to be talking about seriously one of my most beautiful creations behind me, the 7 Series collection, but specifically the 7 Series refrigeration. But before we do that, I want to show you something that I baked in one of our Viking ranges here in the showroom. And this is not just banana bread. This is banana cake. And there's a great story behind this banana cake. This was a banana cake that I used to cook for the truck drivers on the Rolling Stones tour, because they had to drive all through the night. And they just loved it because I would bake it and it would be warm. And it's just loaded with all kinds of chocolate and coconut and all kinds of great ingredients. And I wanted to share that with the folks at home. Maybe it's you or your friends or your wife that you can share the recipe with. And then they can make this. I know everyone probably has some bananas sitting around. This is an incredibly good banana cake that you're really gonna enjoy. Two things. I'm a designer and a chef. So the reason why I love the BlueZone refrigeration as a chef is that when I'm putting ingredients in the refrigerator, such as cheeses and garlic and really fish, things like that that have a lot of smell, the BlueZone refrigeration is incredible because it's removing all of the smell, and it's also preserving my food life. And what I mean by that is I do a lot of farmers market produce shopping, and when I bring it into the showroom to serve our guests, it doesn't last very long usually, but the BlueZone refrigeration lets that product last several days. As a matter of fact, sometimes even weeks longer than normal. And it's not just in our 7 Series. We even have that in our plasma cluster in our 5 Series. We really were ahead of the curve when it comes to that. But I also, as a designer, really think that Viking had to come out with, and they did, such a timely thing for designers, really speaking to the luxury market. I like to say our 7 Series is that luxury client. Designers love the 7 Series product. They love the columns, and they love the integrated fashionable look. And right here, when I walk over to our 7 Series integrated refrigerator panel here, it really speaks to the high-end market. It really speaks to fashion. So in our showrooms, even in New York and now California, we have lots of the 7 Series on display. And again, it was high time that Viking really came into the, they're always there with their great quality product, but now they really took it up to another luxury level with the 7 Series. So I'm going to talk to our friend Sue Bailey, and Sue Bailey is going to go, as we open up the refrigerator inside, to speak about the interior of this beautiful appliance.
Thanks, Jamie. Hey guys, as many of you know, I've been with Viking over 22 years now, and I remember when we first started producing built-in refrigeration in Greenwood back in the year 2000, and now 20 years later, we build some of the best refrigeration products on the market. As Jamie was talking about why we started development of the 7 Series, not only did we want a beautiful piece, but we wanted a product that would also enhance food preservation and have some of the industry's exclusive features around air purification. Like Jamie mentioned, we do have the plasma cluster in the 5 Series, which is a wonderful purification system. And what we wanted to do is we started talking about wanting a 7 Series is we needed something that not only had great food preservation, but also that eliminated ethylene gas, which my friend Karen's going to talk about in just a minute. Now, as most of you know, ethylene gas is very harmful to bananas, and I would hate to imagine that Jamie's banana bread would taste like if its bananas were not fresh enough due to the ethylene gas that can actually destroy them. So to discuss this in more detail, I want to introduce you guys to my dear friend, Karen Benedict. I've known Karen for about 17 years. When Viking first started working with Karen and her team, they developed with us the patented convection system we have in our ovens, which we'll talk about next week. And guys, Karen is truly not just one of the greatest minds I know, but just one of the greatest people. So Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about BlueZone.
Oh, well, that's a very nice introduction. Thanks so much, Sue. I hope everybody is doing well. This is a very, it's a very stressful time, but I have to say it's awfully nice to see a beautiful kitchen and see wonderfully cooked food, and it's just, it's reassuring. So thank you all for participating, and thank you, Sue, for highlighting the BlueZone and giving us a chance to talk about it. You know, first and foremost, the BlueZone is about fresh preservation. It was originally developed for the U.S. military to improve the quality of fruits and vegetables that were going to the forward troops. It's a difficult thing to transport and to store fruits and vegetables and have them maintain not just their appearance and flavor, but their nutritional value. And so we studied a lot the nature of what are the critical elements of fresh preservation. And of course, everybody knows there's temperature and there's humidity, but right after that, there's controlling, as Sue was saying, ethylene gas, which is a ripening agent that comes off of a number of different fruits and vegetables. It's the reason that there are expressions about one bad apple can spoil the bunch, is that ethylene gas comes off of one piece of fruit and it causes other fruit or vegetables to ripen or to become more bitter or to change color, but ultimately to keep maturing. So the BlueZone was developed to get rid of ethylene and also get rid of mold spores. As an aside, it turns out that the technology that achieves that also gets rid of odors and prevents flavor transfer from one kind of food, a strong smelling food, to the next. It's really simple. The air goes into it. It is any kind of microbial or chemical is broken down in the BlueZone and clean air comes out, and it just keeps circulating around and around and around with 2 wavelengths of UV light. It's germicidal and it is oxidizing UV light in the BlueZone. So it's simple and it has so many different impacts on the ability to store not just fruits and vegetables, but all the foods in the fridge.
Karen, do you want to add a little bit on coronavirus and how you're finding that the BlueZone is winning that battle also?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the reminder. So, as I mentioned, the technology was originally developed for the military, and we found that there are a variety of other applications for BlueZone, and it is used as an air cleaner, not just in refrigerated systems, but in occupied spaces. And we recognized that the technology that was effective in killing bacteria and mold is also effective in killing viruses. And right now we have units at a special virology test lab, it happens to be in Ireland, that is testing for its efficacy in killing virus. And the early results are looking extremely promising. It is very effective at killing the virus. And of course, that's something that's front and center in everybody's mind these days. So it is, it certainly is an added benefit of the technology in the fridge or in its different forms used in different applications, actually around the world.
And Karen, I know that on the control panel, which we're going to get to in a minute, there is an indicator when they need to change the bulb. Do you want to talk about how easy or difficult it is to actually get the replacement done when it needs to be?
Sure. It's actually very easy to change to keep it operating as effectively as it is when you first install it, you change the bulb really once a year. There's a indicator light that gives you, oh, Sue, now I'm not remembering. I think it gives you about a month or two warning.
Yep, that's correct.
I think it's about a month or two when it says, hey, you got to think about this. So you can order the bulb from Viking directly, and they'll ship you a box, and it's no special tools or anything is needed. There, I think Jamie's doing is removing the front plate, and then you flip down. There's a little LED lighting ring that gets flipped down, and then you remove that plate behind it, and you can see the bulb, and you just push to one side and then pull it out and replace it with another bulb. And it takes probably 5 minutes at most to take care of that. And it's done once a year. And then I think somewhere in the control panel, there's a reset button so that it starts from 0 again.
Yeah, exactly. Great, Karen. Thank you so much for that easy to understand explanation, which we appreciate very much with that. It truly is, guys. BlueZone truly is the best food preservation component in any refrigerator in the industry right now. It is an exclusive to us and Viking from the residential side, and we are thrilled to have that. After we talked with Karen and her team and knew we wanted to add the BlueZone technology, we also decided that it would be very important that the surface of the interior cabinet was also antimicrobial. So inside all of our refrigeration, we do use a pre-painted antimicrobial aluminum interior cabinet. Now, as you guys all know, because all of us that sell appliances, we all know that plastic tends to hold odors, whereas metal does not. That is why with all the higher end dishwashers, you always have a stainless steel interior versus a plastic interior, because it is not going to hold the odors. So that is why we are using these metal interiors to provide, long-term durability, and along with the odor neutralization inside the product. So as Rich is doing a great job showing you the inside of that, it is just a beautiful, beautiful refrigerator. Now, as pretty as it is, and it is beautiful, one of the things that was still so very important to us at Viking was to make sure that, can y'all tell why I work from home? Is that we have the best compressor available in the market. And so this uses the same compressor that our 5 Series uses, which is a variable speed DC compressor, okay? So guys, basically we get these from Embraco. Embraco is the premier manufacturer of compressors. We don't use just the cheapest one Embraco has. We use the most technologically advanced compressor that they have there. Ours is one of the quietest. It chills foods very quickly, along the line with saving energy. So guys, we could use a cheaper single speed AC compressor, but we love the performance of this particular unit or compressor. It's got great energy savings with that. Also remember that in the 7 Series bottom freezer, we actually use 2 of these variable speed DC compressors, okay? So we're making sure that we have the best, most comprehensive compressor that is on the market. That's the only, when I say not fun thing, just thing that's not as interesting to talk about is the compressor. One thing you can see, great shot there, Rich. The compressor on all 7 Series are on the bottom. As you guys that have been selling 5 Series for a while, all those compressors are up top and you see the grill. To make this a fully integrated unit, we needed to put the compressor on the bottom. So that is where it is, down there on the bottom. Excellent. All right, we're gonna go to the inside of the refrigerator now and talk about the capacitive touch controls. I don't know about any of you, but I am getting a tad bit older, and it is very hard for me to see things that are small type. So I love how large this display is on the 7 Series refrigerator. It is very easy to read, it is very easy to see, and it just makes it so easy when you need to change the controls. So not only is it easy to read, but this is a great way, if I'm on the sales floor and I want to talk to the customer about the different, functions or features of the refrigerator, the control panel is a perfect place to look because everything I kind of need to know or want to talk about is up there, right? So if you look at some of those, you got the max fridge button. I'm just going to go over these just kind of quick to make sure you know what they do. This will take the refrigerator to its coldest temperature for 4 hours, okay? Now, I can remember when I was younger, Mom and Dad always had a New Year's Eve party. And so what my mom and dad would do is they would load the refrigerator up full of beer and drinks and everything. Mom would turn it down to its lowest setting. Everything would be cold. And, you know, lo and behold, 2 days later, everything in our refrigerator was frozen because my mother forgot to turn it back to the regular temperature. This one, it goes to its coldest setting for 4 hours. Then it will go back to whatever the original setting was. The max freezer, the max ice. These are also two other really, really great things because you've got the freezer will take it to the coldest setting which is -5 degrees for about 6 hours. Then max ice will take it to the coldest setting. It'll stay there for 48 hours, giving you a longer time to actually harvest the ice. So those are great features there. You know, one of the things too, a lot of us now, especially at home as much as we are, or limiting how many times we actually get out to the grocery, we're having to freeze a lot of food, right? And so it is very important that you bring fresh food down to a frozen temperature as quickly as you can. So that's a great way to use that max freezer. The vacation button, where that little airplane is, great. If you're going on vacation, you don't need your refrigerator to defrost as much or just to use as much energy. Hit that vacation button. It's going to kind of take everything to its slowest settings. And then when you get back, hit it again, and it's going to begin to operate fully from there. For any of you guys that are in the markets that have a large Jewish population and you have customers who are wondering about Sabbath, this unit does have a Sabbath mode. It is used to disengage the interior lights and the alarms. When it's in Sabbath mode, interior lights and display, excluding the indicator, temperature, and compartment indicator, and the alarms are disabled. So it is completely compliant from that standpoint. The other thing that's great in here is the filter button. It will illuminate when it's time for that water filter, which Jamie's going to talk about the dispenser in just a minute, when it's time to do that. And then as Karen mentioned, when it's time to replace the BlueZone bulb, you'll get the word BlueZone that will come up underneath there. And it will tell you that it's about time to change that BlueZone. So you'll also notice Jamie has that one in showroom mode. That's a great way for us to see when anything is blue. That's how you know that that particular button has been clicked and is actually working in that mode. So that's a great way to do that. Excellent. So that is kind of the way the control panel works. Jamie, I think we're going to talk next about the glass shelving. Of course, every refrigerator has a shelf. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And nowadays, most of the refrigerators have a spill-proof shelf. Our shelf is nanotechnology. So basically, you just have this great etched rim around there. You do get the full width use of the shelf, which is great, without having things come on there. But the main thing about our shelf that's different than everybody else's is that the shelf is 3/8 of an inch thick. And so Jamie's frozen for me. I'm hoping you guys
too.
There we go. Yeah. And so it's 3/8 of an inch thick, which is the industry's thickest glass out there. There is nothing you can't put on that baby that's not going to be held up and stay nice and secure there. So notice that we've got several shelves and they're very thick. We've got several shelves. They're easily adjustable. So depending on where you want to store what or how you want to adjust them, they're absolutely very easily adjustable. We also have the door bins, which are on the door, hence the name door bins, right? That are fully adjustable with this also. So depending on what you want to keep where, no problem. They are metal. Knowing that the door is the warmest place in the refrigerator, the metal actually helps to keep the cold in there so that everything that's in the door bins is actually staying a little bit colder. The next feature we're going to talk about, I'm going to actually give to Jamie because I happen to know that the Feather Touch internal filtered water dispenser is one of Jamie's favorite things to talk about.
It really is. I had a refrigerator of another brand once that destroyed the flooring in my apartment and the flooring of the apartment below it. So we get a lot of people that come into our showroom that specifically love the idea that ours is on the interior. Reason that a lot of refrigeration companies are not doing that any longer is that there's so much trouble with it. I mean, that's really the long and the short of it. Kids play with it. People are aggressive with it. Sometimes it doesn't fit the right glass and it breaks, which causes damage and leaking like it did in my case. On our refrigerator, lots of designers love the idea that we have our feather touch right in the door. So literally, you just basically have to it's not even any pressure where you'll get clean water. And that's really another thing that I love about the refrigeration, speaking about purity. You know, we know that it cleans the air. We know that it does such a great job at removing food smells, but it also has a filtration system in the water filter, so you're getting clean, pure water. I love the design and the simplicity of it. I think it's really fashionable as well. I also love that, Sue, we talked about the spills, and I have to tell you that, you know, with this in the door, you're really going to talk about less service issues with the water like this in the door, and we discussed that. The other thing I want to talk about is the filtration system and the filter system, and how easily accessible it is right down there in the freezer. It's really so easy just to twist that to the left, pull out your filter, and be able to change your filter. It's one-handed operation, and I think that we're going to talk about, you know, the hinges next, and that's another thing, Sue, that we'll talk about here, and it really speaks to the innovation and the evolution of the Viking brand, these hinges. Do we want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Because when we designed the 7 Series refrigeration line, we did it not because the 5 wasn't great, but we could install the 5 flush, but you could never make it truly flush and to look like a piece of furniture like we wanted to do with that. So what we had to do in order to get that was we had to work with a company and design that fabulous articulating hinge that you see up there. And now, guys, this door hinge will hold a total weight of 225 pounds, which makes it one of the strongest in the market. For you guys that have been to Greenwood and been to our refrigeration lab, you know that we've got units that have tested upwards of 1 million door swings without failure. So we are very confident and sure of this hinge there. Also, guys, please make sure and know too that every refrigeration unit we test or we produce, we put on test for a minimum of 5 hours, and 10% of every refrigerator we have is tested for 20 days from a performance standpoint. So not just is the door hinge tested, we test every unit for at least 5 hours, which I think is really important. And as you guys know,
can I interject on one point? You talked about the weight, and I heard that at the Viking facility, they actually use dumbbells in the door while the robotics are opening and closing the door. But also in the design in New York, I actually used tile on the integration part of it. So it's a very heavy door that literally is made of herringbone tile in the New York City showroom where Jackie, Chef Jackie, does her cooking. And it's, you know, it's fine. So it really can hold up to some weight there.
It can. I can remember when you guys sent me the email and told me you wanted to put tile on that refrigerator in New York, and it, you know, we talked about it, and everybody was like, not a problem, because we tested it and knew that it could actually handle the weight in there, which is great. Hey, Jamie, since you mentioned, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's Chef Jackie. I just wanted to say it's a huge talking point, actually, when people come in and see that and they're like, oh my gosh, is this tile? This looks like it's too heavy. And they open it up, and I'm like, it's a really good segue to talk about the hinges and how well they work and what they can hold and what our doors can handle. So
right, and as far as the design of it, is it something that people, you know, should do? It's something that they could do, and that's when we talk about, you know, the integration factor with this. And in our showrooms, they're a little bit more avant-garde. They're really meant to inspire creativity. So we've seen in lots of different designs with great designers, all of the ways that you can integrate. And I've used, in my designs, I've used everything from tile to mirror. Our 7 series columns in the showroom here have beautiful bronze mirror installations. We also offer the 7 series refrigeration in full stainless, and now in the 14 new colors that we offer from Viking. I mean, everything from beautiful wood paneling to really whatever your mind can create. This is the type of integration that we're talking about. And I really have a great time. And thank you, Jackie, for mentioning that. It's really a cool installation that I don't think I've ever seen before. And that's the beauty of our showrooms and our product, is that we're really on the edge of design and innovation when it comes to Viking and the Middleby Corporation.
Exactly. And, you know, not only do we design great products, but we also stand behind them. So we've got a great warranty for all Viking built-in refrigeration. It's 2 years full, 6 years full on the sealed refrigeration system, which is a year longer than some competitors have, and then a 12-year limited on the sealed refrigeration system. One other thing to note about these units, because the compressor is on the bottom, these units are front serviceable, and it's usually a one-man service call if you were to ever, for some reason, need service, versus a two-man call. So the unit does not need to be uninstalled to service the compressor or the condenser. So it is actually something very easy to do. I think it's beautiful. Well, from my standpoint, guys, this concludes my portion of the Viking 7 Series refrigeration training. Jamie, do you want to add anything?
I just want to add that I really thank everyone that's come into our call. Look forward to more virtual experiences from all the Middleby residential brands, and specifically Viking. I thank you all so much, and for those of you that I've met before, nice to see you again. Please stay safe, and we're gonna make sure that you guys get great trainings from this point on. I love the idea that we're all in here safely together. Enjoy my banana bread cake, and I hope to see or hear from you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Sue and Chef Jamie and Karen. We're now open for questions. Please put your question in the chat box if you have one, and we'll make sure one of our experts answers that.
And guys, you'll also get a video of the actual recipe of me making that recipe live in my kitchen. Thank you for tuning in, and ask away.
Thanks so much, Jamie.
Great. Well, if there
And
are
everybody.
Oh,
Yes.
I see the question of, is there any home connect? At this point, we are working on the app to be able to connect the products to the Wi-Fi. It does have the availability to do it. We are just not utilizing it yet on the 7 Series. So we'll let you know when we're ready.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you everyone for attending, and be on the lookout for some other wonderful training on the Viking products and Middleby residential products as well. And look for a follow-up email with today's information along with Chef Jamie's recipe and video for his delicious banana sour cream chocolate chip bread. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.